What's up guys, my name is TechnoTuner and today I'm bringing to you a live test hands video of my Psychic Punk deck. This deck was a lot of fun to play at a locals Genesys tournament over the weekend, and it had a lot of capability of doing a lot of different plays while establishing some really cool interactive boards. Whether it be Psychic End Punisher for OTK, Jurishin for a spell and trap or monster destruction, or just being able to set up a bunch of banish interruptions with the other psychics and gaining life points or losing life points, I was always having fun playing the deck when actually utilizing this. Now, I will state that this deck is probably around the $50 budget if you're looking for that kind of style of deck. You can always improve this deck with a little bit more tuning and a little bit more money, such as investing in hand traps or rising carps for the punk engine, all that. Now, the one other thing that I will state about this deck when you're watching this test hands is that you do have to watch the effects that you are activating. If you are activating them, you want to pay attention to how much your life points are going through, because you can place yourself as low as what I've seen with myself is 600 life points, but I was able to recoup that during my opponent's turn, bringing myself nearly back all the way up to 8,000. Now, I will go ahead and show a couple test hands with this video so you can get an idea of what you'd like to see or what you can see from this deck. For the record, we will be doing 2 test hands going first and then the final going second, just so you can see more of the opportunities that this deck presents itself. Anyways, let's hop right on into it. Alright, so for us going first, we're going to start off with Droll and Lockbird, No Punk Xiamen, DD Crow, No Punk Ogre Dance, and Serene Psychic Girl. So we have a lot of capability here to further extend because we have some options. So what we're going to do is first activate No Punk Ogre Dance, discard it by sending it from our hand or field to the graveyard, then add 1 punk monster from our deck to our hand. In this case, we're going to go ahead and add, if I can find it, the Wagon. And I know a lot of you are like, well, why are you adding the one of Wagon? Well, that's because we're going to utilize it to get us into our spells and traps a lot, into our spells a lot easier. So what we're going to do next is normal summon the Serene Psychic Girl, activate the effect to banish the Wagon, and be able to summon a level 3 Psychic from our deck. In this case, we're going to go ahead and special summon that Mind Procedure. This is where you're going to have a choice where you can utilize the effect to search a teleport spell or trap and add to your hand, or you can save the other effect for when it's banished to summon it for 1,000. In this case, I'm going to pay the 2,000, putting us to 6k, and adding us a teleport spell. In this case, we're going to go ahead and add that Teleport Fusion. Next, we'll go ahead and Synchro for 5. We'll go into Silent Psychic Magician. We'll utilize the effect and target Gagapu Punk Wagon and activate its effect for Silent Psychic Magician, allowing us to increase its level by 4, and then we'll pay 600, putting us down to 5,400 here, to add a punk spell. In this case, we'll go ahead and add the Punk Jam Extreme Session so we can continue our plays a little bit more effectively. Now, do note that you can treat Silent Psychic Magician as a non-tuner for the synchro of a psychic monster. So what we'll go ahead and do is utilize these 2 and go into our level 9, which is going to be Psychic Blaster MK2. We're not going to activate its effect yet, but we are going to activate the Punk Jam Extreme Session, utilizing its effect to banish a punk monster from our graveyard, which is going to be the Ogre Punk, to special summon the Xiamen. We'll next activate Xiamen effect, giving paying 600, so that'll put us down to 48. Allowing us to add a punk monster from our deck to our hand. In this case, we'll go ahead and add No Punk Foxy Now, since we did pay the 600, we do get one trigger for the Jam Extreme session, allowing us to draw one. So we drew into another Droll Lockbird, which is perfectly fine, but we have other options we can do. So we'll go ahead and activate Foxy Tune Effect in hand to discard it and Droll Lockbird to special summon a punk monster from our deck. In this case, we'll go ahead and special summon Deer Note. Next, we'll go ahead and synchro with Xiamen and Deer Note to allow us to go into our Punk Jam Dragon Drive. Now we have two effects, which is Jam Dragon Drive to add a level 3, and then Deer Note will go ahead and revive back the Xiamen. Jam Dragon Drive will allow us to add a level 3, which will grab the Hushed Psychic Minister. This way we can further combo if we need to. It's honestly up to each of us, but we do have to pay 600 life points for that if we're going to activate that effect, putting us down to 42, which will give us another trigger of this, and that'll be our final trigger of the Jam Extreme session, allowing us to draw another card, which is the Parallel Teleport. All right, so what we can do here is a couple of things. Since we're already probably past the Nibiru stage, we're going to go ahead and special summon the Punk Jam Fever using the Jam Dragon Drive, just so we can set up a monster negate if we need to. We'll go ahead and use MK Blaster to bring out the Punk Ogre Dance, and synchro these two into our Jurashin. This way we can utilize the effect to gain some life points back during our opponent's turn, but since we control a psychic monster, we can then special summon Hushed Psychic Minister. We'll go ahead and activate Parallel Teleport, sending the Hushed Psychic Minister to summon from our deck a Cosmo Dark Lady. Since that is 2 levels higher, we will take 2k in damage. I'm going to place it in defense because you never know what you're going to come across. But that puts us down to 2200. But we do get an extra monster negate. We'll next go ahead and set the teleport fusion. Or you can activate it now just in case you want to set up that interaction for next turn to have some safety buffer. If you want to, then you would banish the Silent Psychic Magician along with... We'll do the Xiamen to go into our Axon Kicker Oracle, which is 3900 attack for the entire rest of this turn. So I'm going to move this over here so you guys can see the full board. But right there, this gains 3900. Well, it gains 1000, so it moves it to 3900 attack, which is a summon negate. Cosmo Dark Lady, if you pay 1000, you get a monster negate. You pay 1500 with Jurashin, it's a Harpy's Feather Duster or Raigeki during your opponent's turn. The other thing is, each time they activate an effect or a card, you gain 300 life points, so you can get a little extra life points back. MK Blaster, or Blaster MK2, you can banish an opponent's monster and get life points back from it while banishing one of your own. And then Punk Jam Fever is an extra monster negate, while you do have the Droll and Lockbird along with the DD Crow. So you have full board, plus the capability of further setting up so many negates, it's hard for your opponent to really interact unless they have a spell and trap or a way to tribute over your monsters. Either way, this deck is a lot of fun to play because you just set up how many interactions? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 interactions plus the 2 in hand. So you got 7 interactions with your opponent, which could really mess them up if they don't play correctly into this. Anyways, that's all I got for the first test hand. Let's go ahead and hop right into our second one so I can show you a little more about what the deck can do. All right, for our second going first hand, let's see what we get. We get no Punk Xiamen, no Punk Ogre Dance, Serene Psychic Girl, Prototype Psychic Blaster, and another Serene Psychic Girl. So we have a lot of capabilities here to really further our plays. In this case, we're going to activate No Punk Ogre Dance and utilize the effect to add a punk monster. We're going to add the Wagon, which is right at the bottom of the deck. From here, we'll go ahead, discard the prototype Psychic Blaster, special summon the Serene Psychic Girl. Serene Psychic Girl effect to banish a monster from our hand. To special summon a level 3 or a level 4 or lower Psychic monster. In this case, we'll go ahead and special summon the Mind Procedure, where we're going to pay that 2,000 life points, and I did not change this back from last time. So we're going to go from 8k down to 6k. And add us a teleport spell. In this case, we're going to go ahead and grab that teleport fusion. Next, we're going to go ahead and synchro into that level 5. Putting us as Silent Psychic Magician. We'll activate that effect to bring back the Gagapoo Punk Wagon, increase its level to 4. And then we're going to pay 600, putting us down to 5,400, allowing us to add a punk spell. We're going to add that punk Jam Extreme Session, allowing us to further synchro and play through a couple things. So at this point, we would already be in the beer range, but we still have full plays because we still have that punk card in the graveyard, which can allow us a free summon by banishing it to summon a punk from our hand, which is the Xiamen. So what we're going to do next is synchro with these two into our 9, which is going to be the MK2. Next, we'll go ahead and activate Extreme Session, banishing the Ogre Dance. To special summon out the Xiamen. We'll put Xiamen in defense because in case it gets impermed or anything like that, you have that capability. We'll next pay 600, putting us down to 48. Allowing us to add a punk monster. In this case, we'll go ahead and add the Foxy Tune. Then we'll utilize Jam Extreme Session. Since we we paid life points to activate an effect, we get to draw 1. So that's going to be our first trigger on that. And then, since we got 2 teleport fusion, we can activate 1 during this turn and 1 during our opponent's turn if we would like. But in this case, we're going to go ahead and discard Foxy Tune and Serene Psychic Girl to summon from our deck a Deer Note. So we'll special summon out the No Punk Deer Note. We'll next go ahead and synchro into our level 8, which is going to be Dragon Drive. Dragon Drive effect to pay 600 and add a level 3. And then we get Deer Note effect to revive back a punk monster. In this case, it would probably be better to revive back a Xiamen, but we're going to bring back the Foxy Tune so we can make our rank 8 a little stronger. But we're going to first pay that 600, putting us to 42. And allowing us to add a level 3 Psychic, which is going to be our not Mind Procedure. I almost grabbed the wrong one. It's the Hushed Psychic Minister is the one we're going to want. All right. Now we're going to go ahead and take these two and go into our Punk Jam Fever. We'll utilize the effect, detaching No Punk Foxy Tune, to draw 1 card. And I missed the whole draw 1 because I did pay the 600. So do note that this is where you can mess up. Because it's a can effect, you do not have to activate it. But we already have a decent board right now. So what can we do from here? Well, we do have a couple of options. We're going to first activate that Teleport Fusion, fusing Xiamen and Foxy Tune into our Rising Carp. We'll next activate Psychic Blaster MK2, bringing out a Xiamen. We're not going to pay any life points here, but we still have full capability of doing things. But we're going to go ahead and activate Parallel Teleport, tributing off the Xiamen to summon out the Daruri Punk and pay 600 life points, putting us down to 36. Allowing us to add a trap from our deck to our hand, which is going to be the Daruri Punk, Dangerous Gabu. And we'll get that last draw, so we make sure to get that trigger on the jam session. So we'll get that draw, which is another Xiamen. From here, we can make another level 11 if we wanted to, and be able to further build our board. Or we could tribute this off and summon 2 non-level 8 Punk monsters. In the best case, though, we're going to go ahead and take these 2. Go directly into our Jurishin. And I don't believe we have any other effects outside of a couple at this point. Now, you do have full capability of further extending if you would like to. You can only activate Teleport Fusion once per turn. That's fine. But we're not going to utilize it fully right now, because there is a couple things I would like to do with this deck overall. But you do have the capability of using Teleport Fusion, where you can banish it from the graveyard and also special summon one of the banished monsters. Psychic monsters you have, which is fine. But that's only if a face-up psychic monster you control that was special summoned from the extra deck is destroyed by Valor card effect. So we couldn't utilize that, but you can still utilize Prototype Psychic Blaster, banishing a card, summon it back, get a level 3, or getting the level 6 out on the board, and then you can special summon Hush Psychic Minister, which leaves you with extra material to work with, but you can't really go into a synchro play. So at this point, it's better to hold on to these 2 for further follow-up play if you need to, and set the Psychic, the Daruri Punk Dangerous Gabu and the Teleport Fusion. Now, there's a reason why I'm saying this, because you have still the Banish, the Monster Negate, and the Life Point gain back. But during your opponent's turn, at the start of the main phase, you can go ahead and activate Teleport Fusion. Being able to fuse with Serene or Silent Psychic Magician, along with another monster, which could be the Ukiyo-e Punk Rising Carp, allowing you to go into your Axon Kicker, which can give an additional 2k, since it used a Synchro. Never mind, it only gains 1k because it does not count Psychic Monster or Fusion monsters. So it'd just be 3,900, in which you can go into that during your opponent's start of the main phase and draw or set up a Omni Negate on that. Sorry for the draw effect. I was thinking of something else, because usually during standby, most people activate Flawless, so that gets them a free draw. But you're playing during your opponent's turn, so you don't have to worry about that. But you still get the Omni Negate, or not Omni Negate, Negate Summon with the Axon Kicker Oracle. Because when your opponent would special summon a monster, quick effect, you can negate the summon. If you do, banish that monster or monsters. If this fusion summon card is sent to the graveyard, you can banish 1 teleport, normal, or quick play spell from your graveyard and special summon this card. So you have ways of recurring it back, but you also have further interaction with the banish to gain life points. Every time they activate a card or effect, you get 300 life points, a monster negate, and a summon negate. And you have an effect negate with Daruri Punk Dangerous Gabu, while you also have recovery through Xiamen and Hush Psychic Minister. So you have a lot of capability here to really build off those boards and see what you could do with that. That's all I have for the second going first test hand. Let's go ahead and hop into our final one, where we're going second. All right, let's go ahead and see what our going second test hand is. So we draw into the first Mind Procedure, Serene Psychic Girl, Punk Jam Extreme Session, Prototype Psychic Blaster, and Drone Lockbird. So we can already lock our opponent if they're trying to search anything during their turn. So we're going to activate that just in case, like just let you know that you could activate that during your opponent's turn. Really mess with them a bit. And then for our 6th draw would be No Punk Ogre Dance. So let's go ahead and look at from the way that they didn't really activate anything that we could draw and lock, but something we can really go through and just build off this board. So first up, we'll go ahead and activate Punk Jam Extreme Session, and then activate No Punk Ogre Dance, allowing us to add a Punk monster from our deck to our hand. In this case, we'll go ahead and grab the Xiamen. Next, we're going to go ahead and activate Prototype Psychic Blaster, discarding it, special summon the Serene Psychic Girl, allowing us to banish a Mind Procedure to get us a Mind Procedure. Now you have the choice here where you can activate the banish effect of the Mind Procedure, getting it back on the board for 1,000, or you can activate the effect to get the teleport spell. In this case, I'm really wanting the teleport spell, so we're going to go ahead and pay that 2k and get that teleport spell. Now that'll be our first trigger on the extreme session, allowing us to draw 1 as well. Next, and I don't know why I banished the prototype, it is just discarded. But we'll go ahead and banish the Ogre Dance to special summon out the Xiamen. Xiamen effect pays 600, putting us to 54. And give us another Punk monster. In this case, we'll go ahead and grab the Foxy Tune. So we're already setting pretty awkwardly off because we're at 3 summons. If we go into the next one, we get to 4. Now, they're more likely not going to Nibiru you here since they have a board established, but just in case they do, you have the capability here of using Foxy Tune to get your 5th summon and then go into reviving it out the Psychic Blaster to get a level 6 on board, to go into an 8 to set up a Punk Jam Dragon Drive, and then make the rank 8 for a monster interrupt if you so want to. Don't have to. I'm right now playing like there is no negates, which is perfectly fine, just to teach the basics. So, since we paid that 600, we're going to then get another draw off of the Jam Extreme session, which is a parallel teleport. So what we're going to do next is synchro with these two into our level 5, which will be Silent Psychic Magician. Silent Psychic Magician effect to bring out the Mind Procedure from our banished pile, increase its level, make it a level 4. And then we'll take these two and go directly into our level 9, which of course we already know is the Psychic Blaster MK2. Now, if I were to recommend anything for future plays and builds, increase this to 2, because he's an excellent 2-of for recovery if you didn't finish out the OTK, which can help out a lot. Next, we'll go ahead and activate the effect of Parallel Teleport, distributing off the Punk Xiamen, getting us a Druri. We'll pay 600, putting us to 48 here in a second. And we're going to be able to get that trap from our deck to our hand as well. So now that we've already gotten through that, we have other plays we can do, such as being able to use Psychic Blaster MK2, bring out the Ogre Dance, and then synchro with these two into a level 11, which can be either your Psychic End Punisher or your Ukiyo-e Punk Amazing Dragon. In this case, we're going to do we're not going to do Amazing Dragon just yet, because I have a plan on how to get there. We're going to do Psychic End Punisher. Psychic End Punisher will allow us to gain a lot of attack points. So during our battle phase, we'll be able to gain the difference between our life points and our opponent's life points, so we can do further damage. Next up, we'll go ahead and activate the effect of Foxy Tune. We'll discard the Drone Lockbird and special summon from our deck a level 3. This level 3 could be anything for our punk side. We're going to do Xiamen just because we run 3 of them. But if you really wanted to, you don't have to do Xiamen. You can do, excuse me here, Wagon, because then you can activate Wagon effect, putting your life points lower by 600 to 42, right? And then get the spell, which is going to be the field spell again. So in case they pop the field spell, or if you need it for next turn or anything like that, you can have it as well. So next we'll go ahead and activate Teleport Fusion, giving us Foxy Tune and Ogre Dance as banished, and then we're going to summon Rising Carp. We'll next tribute the Rising Carp if we really want to, and then get us a Deer Note and Xiamen. So this is where you can also get Wagon instead of the Xiamen, just so you can further search that spell. Doesn't really matter at that point. Next, what we're going to do here is take Xiamen and Deer Note, go into a level 8. That level 8 is going to be our Jam Dragon Drive. We're going to pay 600, putting us down to 36. Using the effect to add 1 level 3 Psychic from our deck to our hand. We'll grab the Hush Psychic Minister. It's perfectly fine. It's just an extra extension if we need it. And then we'll go ahead and use Deer Note effect, since that was sent for this, to revive 1 punk monster. We'll get Rising Carp. We'll next take Jam Dragon Drive and go into Jam Fever. Set that monster negate if we need to. And then we're going to synchro with these two into our level 11, which is going to be the Amazing Dragon. Now, here's the fun part that we can utilize. Amazing Dragon gets the effect. You can target cards your opponent controls up to the number level 3 psychic monsters with different names you control and in your graveyard. So in our graveyard, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we can bounce 4 or 4 cards on the field back to their hand, but you also get to target 1 punk monster in your graveyard, except you can go a punk dragon or Amazing Dragon and special summon it. So we'll bring back the Rising Carp. So you didn't really have to go into the Jam Fever just yet. You could wait and make it with 2 materials if you really wanted to. But I'm going to do this because if I don't get to finish in OTK this turn, I'm going to be able to basically have a little bit of defense. But before I bring it back, I'm going to activate Rising Carp effect. Since it was used as synchro material, I can target 1 punk monster. It gains a second attack during each battle phase this turn. So we're going to give Amazing Dragon a second attack, giving us 6k instead of just the base 3k for damage. All right. So right there, we've already gotten us down to 3,600. We can activate Pep, where we pay 1,000, target 1 monster I control and 1 our opponent controls, and banish them. So what we're going to do is banish the Rising Carp, putting us down to 26, and then banish 1 monster or 1 card our opponent controls. And then we go to start battle step. It gains 5,400 attack, so putting us to 9,900 attack just from that monster alone, along with 3k that can attack twice, a 2,800, and a 3,200 attacker. So that way we can further beat down on our opponent for an OTK if necessary, where we've already broken their board apart by at least 5 cards. Overall, that's actually really impressive, and if they somehow still lived, we got the Dangerous Gabu for a negate during their turn. We have the Psychic MK Blaster as a capability to banish one of their monsters and one monster from our graveyard, and further prevent them from being able to use that monster, but we also gain the life points back. We also do have the Jam Fever as a monster negate as well. And then we have a DD Crow in hand to banish anything in their graveyard that they may want back. But anyways, guys, that's all that I really have for this test hand video. I hope you did enjoy it. If you did, please go ahead and feel free to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.
I'm catching feelings from all the dealings. Am I astray? What do you say? How are you feeling? Is it the same?